We're Ben and Lucy, and for the past 8 months, we've been on a journey east, exploring Turkey and the Caucasus, travelling as far as our old English van would let us. We faced many hurdles travelling through the winter months, with extreme cold and relentless snow in Turkey and Georgia, and more of the same in Armenia too. We've met some fantastic people along the way in village mosques, hot springs, and even tyre shops. We've soaked in the hottest, wildest hot springs, captured incredible scenery and snippets of vastly different cultures, travelling over 5,000 kilometres from our home in the UK. Some might say it was a mistake to travel here in a clapped-out English van during the coldest, wettest and all-round toughest months of the year, but we say it's all part of the adventure, and it makes a great story. In our last episode, we ended our journey on the side of Armenia's highest mountain, where we promptly got caught in horrendous rain and narrowly escaped an avalanche, before running for the border with Georgia. We spent several days in Georgia soaking in a secret hot spring with our friends Thomas and Regina, before entering Turkey and racing towards Ankara to get a growing list of repair work done to the van. You last saw us in a hotel room, eagerly awaiting news about a replacement fuel pump, so let's jump back in and see how we got on.
So we've just got a call from the garage, and they reckon the van is repaired. The pump is back on, replaced, repaired, whatever they've done to it, we're yet to determine. So we're on the way to the garage now to go and hopefully pick up the van, issue free. So they originally quoted €1,000, and it's now gone down to €900. So it's €100 less than they said, but also 150 more than they said originally. It's quite confusing. So yeah, we're about 20 minutes away. Just got to get back through the city safely in this crazy taxi, and then hopefully arrive in one piece and see what the damage is. Hopefully this has fixed the problem.
There she is, hiding.
It's not rattling anymore.
No, it sounds better.
Yeah.
And there's no white smoke blip.
Yeah, nice.
Did it rev?
No rattling on startup. No sounding like it's going to break and smash to pieces.
Yeah, that does sound better, to be fair.
Yeah.
Problem yok, no. Okay.
No more problems.
Okay,
Aynen.
thank you so much.
Teşekkürler.
Siz Türkiye'de Turkey gezmek mi?
Istanbul, Bursa, Izmir, cars.
Van, yeah.
Dalyan.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Really good. Turkey, very good.
Super.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. It's sounding good.
It's sounding good. No more smoke. So the engine problem, after months of speculation, turned out to be the fuel pump, after all.
Well, she's definitely got some beans back in her now. And finally, for the first time since getting to Ankara, I feel like I'm keeping up with the general speed and calamity of everyone else on the roads. So it's definitely not in reduced fueling mode anymore, and the rattling has just gone from the engine.
So now we just need to find ourselves a welder who's willing to take on this monumental task. Our welder back in Cornwall said never to contact him again about this van. That's how bad it is. But hopefully we can find someone in Turkey who is willing to do the work. With our biggest fix under our belts, we were armed with optimism as we ventured into the welding section of the huge garage district. Remarkably, we found someone almost straight away and arranged to meet him the following day. Cue the next morning.
Oh, there he is. He's waving. Which one is it then?
That one.
Oh, here, yeah. I really don't know what he's telling me to do, to be honest.
Turn.
I don't know what he's saying. on one hand he's like stopping the van moving, and then the other hand he's telling me to go back, I think. There's two people telling me to do different things in each mirror.
Okay, that sounds like we're good.
Right.
This is Master Yunus, a true legend, an all-round lovely guy who jumped at the chance to help us. He's worked from his humble workshop for the past 50 years, patching up cars and crafting customised number plates. But before anything starts in Turkey, it's customary to have tea, although hilarious Google Translate conversations are optional.
Günaydın. Hoş geldin. Oraya saç koymazsak kaynak olmaz.
If we don't put hair there, there will be no weld.
Nescafe, çay. Bak kaynıyor. Sen ikimize yapacaksın, tamam mı? Tamam. Okey. Çayını iç. Karnınız aç mı? Aç değilse arka o siyahları beraber sökelim. Ben de diğer işlere devam edeceğim.
Drink your tea.
Tamam. Karnınız aç mı? Size yemek alayım.
Yok, tamam.
Tamam.
Tamam. Teşekkürler. Back outside, as the narrow street got busier and more chaotic, street vendors began to tempt us with their breakfast treats. And Ben found it impossible to say no to any of them.
Güzel olsun bak.
Merhaba.
Merhaba.
One. Just one. One is okay. Okay, we get two.
Hey.
Teşekkürler.
Smicie! Hadi Smith! Smithy! Smicie! Evet, hadi Smith, hadi Smith!
These are so tasty, they're like kind of sesame seed and cheesy bagels. People just keep selling them, so I just keep buying them. It's definitely helping to pass the time. Really tasty if you ever come here. Recommend.
For the best part of the morning, we genuinely thought things were looking great. But then we noticed something wasn't quite right, and it was about the time Master Yunus put down the metal and reached for the chrome plastic trim. I don't think we're at welders. I think I'm just realising that now.
Interesting, isn't it?
We decided to end our day of welding there, but there was one last thing to do with Master Yunus, a custom number plate. So it's been a good day.
It's all good.
Paslı araba.
Paslı araba
Evet. Ama gider.
ama gider.
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 Evet.
Evet. It means from us to Roadtrip in Turkish.
Oh, cool. Well, we finished at the first garage, and unfortunately, it wasn't quite what we had in mind. It turned out he wasn't actually a welder.
It was when the chrome came out that we started to really worry.
Yeah, he's literally just covered the holes with chrome plastic
Adhesive.
and glue. Oh my word. Bless him though, he's a lovely guy. Him and his mate just bombarded us with cigarettes and tea and coffee and even a kofta earlier. Yeah, we're just getting our tyre fixed now because we had a blowout in Yerevan and we've had the most dangerous bodge on it since.
Long story short, we went to a welder to get some welding done and we came back with no actual welding done.
Well, it's tiring, isn't it? Anyway, we've had a fun day.
It's been fun, if nothing else. Of course, a trip to the tyre shop in Turkey wouldn't be complete without being invited into lunch with the staff. Nice seat, Ben. Nice seat. Lovely big plate of menemen.
Yeah.
Our new favourite.
It's good stuff, man.
Turkish eggs with tomatoes and peppers. Best eaten sat on a tyre, right?
Naturally.
This is nice. Why'd you have to film my shame? The next day, we found a garage who could do the work. It would take them 3 days to rebuild the wheel arch and the backstep. We killed time by exploring Ankara's old town and hammams. But mostly, we sat around in our hotel room, very bored, listening to the serene atmosphere outside our window. So we've been in Ankara for 4 days and finally it is time to go and pick the van up. We've been sent some photos of the work they've been doing and it's looking really good. So we're super excited to go and see it in person at last. Here it is.
It's looking great, isn't it?
Oh, you've done the sills.
amazing.
Look at that.
Oh, that's just such a good bonus. They've replaced the ones that are up here, broken.
Wow. Actual working lights.
Wow.
Look at this.
Very good.
Komple.
Everything.
Brilliant.
Looking so good. Is that a souvenir?
Souvenir, yeah.
Yeah. And the arch, the most important bit.
Sağ tarafa
Wow.
komple olanı saracağım.
That looks so good.
Wow, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Teşekkür
You've
ederim.
done a really good job.
They also wait you for next year. They will also change all part of this.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, it will need it.
Yeah, when we come back next year. All of this. Oh, thank you so
Excellent work.
much. Teşekkürler. Brilliant. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that. I'm going to bought some baklava for us. Tea and desserts.
Oh wow.
Is it good?
Bye.
See you again sometime. Bye. Finally, we were back on the road after a week in the city. The kilometres racked up, and by the next day, we'd arrived at the Bulgarian border. Republic of Bulgaria. Down. Look at that bird. Slow, wait. There.
Oh, this is absolute paradise.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, man.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Kenya. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and And even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own. I have learned that no one else can carry this load. It's a train where I'm the only passenger on board. Oh, there is beauty to enjoy on this road. But even so, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own.
So we're less than halfway through the journey back to the UK and we're already experiencing van problems as predicted. Unfortunately, this one was totally avoidable. So since leaving Ankara, we've had this problem where every time we hit the smallest bump on the motorway, the van is just veering off into the next lane. It's been super dangerous to make it this far. And we're now in Niš in southern Serbia, and we've realised that we have a bent track rod, which is basically the steering arm that goes between the two wheels. So one wheel's going straight forward, one wheel's going off to the right. And we've kind of narrowed it down, and we've realised that the lovely welders in Ankara must have jacked the van up at the wrong point underneath the steering damper, and they have in fact bent the track rod and caused this problem, which is so unfortunate because otherwise we were doing really well on this journey. But luckily we've managed to find a super nice mechanic who's going to fix it up for us today so that we can continue on our journey and get back to the UK safely.
Well, what a lovely mechanic and his brilliant son who managed to translate everything for us. And you know what? They've taken that pole off the track rod and they put it back on, and I can't believe it's the same thing. I barely recognise it, and only now I can really tell and appreciate just how badly twisted up and mangled that thing was.
I didn't recognise it when I looked under there. I thought they'd taken some things off. It just looked completely different.
Yeah, completely different. And I think it's really kind of sinking in now just how dangerous that was, and how we've driven at least 1,500 kilometres like that. You know, pushing maybe 2,000 all the way from Ankara.
Fighting with the steering the whole way.
Potentially, you know, seriously dangerous steering there. We could have lost it at any time. If it snapped, that track rod snapped, we would have lost our steering. The wheels would have just gone off freely wherever they liked, and we probably would have completely totaled the van and ourselves.
It would have rolled for sure. It would have just gone straight over.
It's just so hard when you're on the road all the time. You're constantly moving, and you just sometimes don't maybe grasp the seriousness of what's going on. You just think that's a little bit worse than it was before, but I'll get it looked at when I can. You know, we're always on the go, but man, we needed to get that done sooner, and I'm just so grateful that it's fixed and we're safe again.
And we're on the way.
We're on the move again. What a lovely, lovely man though.
For a night.
See a swim?
Not bad, is it? I'll go in if you go in.
Yeah, maybe. See how cold it is first. Cold.
That's the best way to start the day before a long drive.
So we are at the Serbian-Croatian border and we had to go through this like scanner into a big building. They really picked us out, didn't they, to have a bit of fun with us.
They were going to have a rummage.
But actually the joke was on them in the end because they couldn't even do the inspection because we broke down.
In their inspector.
As we were climbing into the X-ray building, the van broke down. I think let's just, while it's running, let's just get the hell out of here because this is the worst place. The worst possible place to break down. We can't even get a tow from here, can we? Because we are in no man's land right now between the borders. So let's at least try and get into Croatia.
Let's go before they decide to search us after all. We made it into Croatia and spent the next few hours driving through the country to the Slovenian border.
So we have just passed through our first European soft border. We're back in the EU now, and it's just so nice to not have to queue for up to 2 or 3 hours at a border just to enter the country. We drove straight through. What a novelty that is, Lucy. It's been months, hasn't it?
We passed through Slovenia, stopping for a night in a small village inn and taking a dip in a secluded hot spring, before entering Italy, where things were going to become challenging once more.
So we've not long crossed into Italy from Slovenia, and we just stopped off at this shopping centre here to get a SIM card. And as we were pulling in, the van cut out exactly as it did at the Serbian border the other day. I just put the clutch in and it just cut out, and then the engine light came on flashing. So I pushed it into a parking spot, and we've just been sort of back and forward really with getting it starting, then cutting out, getting it starting, then cutting out. This van, as you can hear now, it's running again, but if we take off again, it's going to cut out. So we've called out a mechanic. He's hopefully going to be here in about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'm deliberately leaving the engine running, hopefully, for when he gets here, so he doesn't insist it's the fuel pump, because we've not long had that completely repaired and replaced. If we can get this fixed today, we've still got a lot of distance to cover. So for now, we're just going to sit here and wait for the mechanic to arrive. Hopefully he can tell us what our fate is going to be. Always a fun journey home, isn't it?
How many more breakdowns do you think we've got?
What, within myself, like mentally?
No, until we get back.
Oh, in the van breakdowns. Oh god, at least a few more, definitely.
And off we went, in true LDV style, hitching a ride to a nearby garage. Unfortunately, LDV taxis don't come cheap in Italy.
So I think I found what it is. I've just inspected the whole wiring loom, and surprise, surprise, it's the electrics playing up once again. We've had nothing but trouble with this wiring loom. Unfortunately, it seems like it's chafed again. I'm guessing where the mechanics last put the engine back together, they haven't put it back together quite right, which isn't their fault. It's really, really hard to actually put it back right. We've just got to cut the tape off and retape it, and luckily this amazingly friendly Turkish truck driver next to us has just offered to give us the tape and help us out a bit, so thankfully.
It's a shame we've just paid €200 for a bloody tow. 4 kilometres up the road, €200. I'll go back to Western Europe.
Yeah, little word to the wise. Wait for your breakdown cover to sort it out. Don't be impatient like we were, because it's just cost us 220 euros. But I'm not going to think about that just yet.
Ah, yes, perfect. Ben, it's got one.
It's a bit fragile. Maybe the two of the wires inside are touching. With the van bodged repaired for now, we had time for a spot of Turkish tea with our new friend before heading off into the night.
What a lovely guy, eh?
He's so nice. No one in the 2 hours we were in the car park stopped to help, which, you know, you can't blame them, fair enough. And then we met this lovely Turkish guy who helped us fix the van, stood out there in the rain trying to help us, and offered us some of his chorba, his Turkish lentil soup. And then we shared a chai and had a nice chat. It's just like, it's making me miss Turkey so much.
So much, Lucy. I'll tell you what, as soon as we get back and earn some more money, we're going to hit the road again and head straight back out in that direction. Don't get me wrong, you know, we've had some lovely encounters in Italy and all across Europe. There's kindness everywhere. I just feel like the density of kindness is much higher in Turkey, and it's just natural to Turkish people to want to help and to be nice to travellers, and there's something we really resonate with and want to reciprocate ourselves.
We drove late into the stormy night, and the next morning the bad weather continued as we crossed northern Italy towards the French Alps. As we entered the French Alps, we began to ruminate on what we'd learned from our journey east. We'd pushed ourselves to more extremes than ever before, reaching the Russian border in the North Caucasus, the Iranian border in the south, and Vashlavani National Park in the east. And we were feeling freshly inspired to take on a bigger journey east in the near future. We'd learned that we needed better tyres, better suspension, and, well, a better van actually. We'd been inspired by the resourcefulness of people in the East and humbled by their kindness. And we'd learned about our own capabilities and renewed confidence in ourselves. This long drive home had also given us plenty of time to reflect on the negative perceptions of these lesser trodden lands and how these couldn't be further from the truth. Before we started our journey east, we'd heard countless lazy stereotypes about the east of Turkey and beyond, and been warned about the dangers of leaving Europe's safety net. What we found instead were 3 incredible nations who opened their arms to us and showed nothing but kindness and hospitality. Since the UK voted to leave the EU back in 2016, our homeland has felt like it's closing itself off to the outside world, becoming less tolerant and more hateful. It feels like now, more than ever, it's important to speak about the kindness we found in total strangers, foreigners, Christians, and Muslims, and celebrate what good we can do together. On this journey, we've met countless incredible people who paid us kindness and wanted nothing in return, as curious about us as we were them. They went out of their way to invite us into their lives to share food, stories, and heartwarming moments together, and helped us along our journey. They taught us more about tolerance and trust and just being kind for the hell of it, and this is something we will take with us and pay forward more than ever. On this journey, we've pushed our van harder than ever before, to greater heights, more dangerous roads, and more extreme conditions. And she has scarcely let us down. Our humble LDV that represented the demise of the British motor industry and that was destined for the scrapyard just 3 years ago. What a waste it would have been, and what adventures we've had together since.
To remember to do after 8 months away is drive on the left, Ben. You're going to have to help me remember, Lucy.
Drive on the left, Ben.
Drive on the left.
For behind-the-scenes videos and to see the reality of making a TV programme and travelogue series, join us over on Patreon.